So, we hit the road on our way from Launceston to St Helens. And the route that we took was this one. Yeah, crap map, but at least you can see the path. Through Avoca, Fingal and St Mary's, then hit the east coast and up to St Helens. Twarbling down the Esk Highway, we firstly hit Avoca. No, not the one on the central coast of New South Wales. This one with the all-too-solid church upon a hill. I don't have an image of it, but apparently there is an old school that cost £348 in 1908, and Prime Minister Joe Lyons visited the school in 1936, the year electric power and a wireless set was installed. The wireless set is more efficient and reliable than the current government's NBN network. Now, old Mother Hubbard reputedly lived in a shoe, and there would have been a discarded shoebox, obviously. Well, here the local constabulary are residing in that discarded shoebox. Imagine just pitching the station on the back of a flatbed truck in the middle of the night and buggering off with it. So we didn't stay in Avoca because Nana was underwhelmed by the cheap and groovy rustic accommodation I had lined up. So on we trooted, down the Esk Highway beside the Esk River. We next hit the town of Fingal. It contains some fine Victorian-era buildings. The poet James Macaulay reputedly lived in the region, and in his poem about the Fingal Valley he wrote, "The blonding of summer grasses, the stubble fields, the green, the sheep in pools in shadow, mauve thistledown between." Anyway, it had a place to eat. Caloried up to the max, it was next to St Mary's, 600 metres above sea level, and it was once a convict working station. It has a pub, and a council worker blocked our path and sent us on a lengthy alternative route down Mount Elephant Pass, though the map said pancakes. I, for one, did not like the idea of consuming an elephant pancake, no matter how healthy the elephant's diet had been. Then we hit the glorious east coast with that mountain still in the background in view. To the beach was the cry, where it was clear that the east coast of Tasmania was a land of rockeries. And the nagging question of what fish could you pull out of those beautiful waters. Now onward, 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 north to St Helens. St Helens with a compact and very pretty little harbour and shops. But the cry from the back seat went up, "Where are we staying?" Somewhere very nice and roomy. Still preferred the iconically rustic place at Avoca. Anyway, so a tour, and this will remind certain viewers of how relaxing and AF-free this place was. Ah, the smell of hay fever in the morning. Just joking. Is Nana still in the car? Let's see. A bedroom. Another bedroom. Another bedroom. Well, the choice should keep Nana occupied for a few hours. Whoa, she's miraculously out of the car. A lounge room. The room for Sunday services. There's Nana.
What room is that? my mate.
Mine, all mine. Yes, my own bathroom. Place to hide from Nana, an escritoire to scrawl out my memoir of this fateful journey. Notice 2 cups, not 3 cups, deprived yet again. And there is Nana in the background, choosing one of the 43 bedrooms.
Oh my God, I'm lost. Oh my God, I'm lost. Oh my God, I'm lost. Oh my God, I'm lost.
So we left Nana lost within the maze of our new accommodation and went out for an explore. We went for a drive along St Helens Point Road, which ran adjacent to Georges Bay, out to the tip of the St Helens Conservation Area. Fabulous. You don't need words, the images are sufficient to describe what we saw. A quick loo stop at a building which was indicative of Tasmania's overwhelming love of the art of stonemasonry. And with all of these rocks, you felt free to adopt a relaxed and jaunty pose, standing on your own magnificent rock. You could do it as many times as you pleased, but you always had show-offs. Though being completely out of focus was far cooler, and blocking the view of the harbour in a fit of pique could be fun as well. Though the rock that looked like a whale broaching may have attracted a what the, but didn't stop us returning to Nana, who was relaxing. And this was a problem, because with the weight of the world off her shoulders, she had settled into her burrow. We needed a tactic to entice her forth, and of course that was food. So we took her to a cool and groovy eatery for dinner. The food was excellent, the atmosphere sublime, but Nana was underwhelmed by the non-Nana fare. So, first thing next morning, we dwarbled to a nice cafe. But, again, cafe treats are not substantial enough for such a senior palate. We had developed an uncontrolled fear that Nana would remain perpetually in the car. So, for lunch, we chose a very safe option: fish and chips. The timeless Australian fuel for traditional metabolisms. Nana was pleased, and we did not have to worry that one of our party would fade away, burrowed deep within the back seat of the car. So back to touring. And you see, the dilemma up to this point in time was that Nana took a driving tour very, very literally. Getting her to actually get out of the car was as hard as finding a rock around St Helens that didn't have an orange hue to it. We headed north to be greeted by a brazen, buxom strumpet at the gateway to BINALONG Bay. We finally pried Nana out of the car. BINALONG Bay is a very, very popular place as a holiday and a getaway retreat, and the landscape clearly shows why. You get the feeling this bloke's trying to impress the little BINALONG harlot in the bimbo kini on the other side of the road. Imagine the progeny if he's successful, a brood of oceanic bogan goddesses. Actually, no, that's not hard to imagine at all. Don't you love the BINALONG farewell? It's not a wave, but a bronze behind. So we then headed up to the Bay of Fires. The landscape declared the name as being self-explanatory. Genuinely a must-visit place, a spot of unique beauty. And in a banal world of daily repetition and cut-and-paste mediocrity, these places are what enthralls and inspires, and they remind us how jaw-droppingly magnificent the natural world and this planet is. And the climate deniers who despoil, degrade and develop in the name of productivity and growth are the enemies of all that makes this world special. All the beauty that is awe-inspiring, which demands preservation, as this is what adds to and nourishes our collective soul, rather than pursuing the corrosion and despair that acquiring mindless consumer shite for the length of our short existence represents. Anyway, I was awed. We were all awed. But this portrait of our journey through the region suggests that St. Helens was just beautiful old houses, rocks upon rocks, beaches, pastures, and extremely vain birds. But it is also a winery. Wine, a lovely red and white, available that could easily go with the seaside fodder I had spied in our travels. At the end of the day, though, I had grown sick of taking photos of birds and flowers. Nana was trenchantly refusing to get out of the car, and mutiny most foul had set in with one of the crew, who had to be tortured in order to convince said crew member that my desire to go fishing was important. And I found a spot, the Scamander River, but I was told we had to head on. Still, St. Helens left an indelible impression, and that was of texture, 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 moving texture, and vista.